Hello, hello. Let's just check everything is in order. Did I unmute myself? Yes, I did. Okay. I keep gaslighting myself, and it's not healthy. I feel like it's not healthy to Wow, it's already going off strong, huh? When I cannot even speak properly. That's gonna be a great stream. Anyways, welcome back to Password. Things are gonna get spicy today. I'm telling you that. Because I left right before a critical moment will happen. So, I hope you're all ready. So, let's go on forward. What was my save file again? Where was it? Is it this one? I think it is. Things are gonna happen now. Hope you're ready. Anyways, 5 minutes passed before I heard someone approaching, and I turned to see who was there. Okay, I'm back. Everything's alright? Yeah, everything's fine. Promise. Orlando sat down next to me. Notably further away than before, but maybe he just wasn't in the mood for cuddling in at the moment. Hey, welcome in, Colin. Hope you're ready for the action. Well, the action, yeah. Not really action, but something happening. I did have something I needed to ask you, though. But you have to promise to not get upset with me, or angry, or freak out, okay? Okay. So, death, right? My god. Wow. We're already jumping into it, huh? I did a double take, confused. Death? Yeah. Have you ever thought about it? I shuddered, forcing thoughts back down so I could properly answer his question. I guess? Like, I try not to really, but I guess I have. Not recently, though. Not recently. Okay. Have you? Me? I guess every day, really. Every day? Orlando, why? That seems... Are you alright? I think so, but I guess just being around... wait, no. I guess just being around it a lot with what my parents do for a living and what Grandpa did, it's sorta hard to just ignore. Oh my god. Why would Banker be dealing with death? Oh, like paying out insurance claims or whatever? So, a slight tease of, or spoiler alert, Dave is completely oblivious to who are Orlando's parents. He's oblivious. You don't really think they work as actual bankers still, do you? I laughed again, scratching my head. I honestly hadn't given much thought given that it didn't matter what Orlando's parent did. Not that I really cared. Let's put it another way. Why do you think my dad hated yours and you were only allowed over that one time? We'll see. I just always assumed it was because I forgot to take off my shoes at the door. Well, yeah, that didn't help. But no, Dave. Think about it real hard. Think about what your dad did for a job. Well, my dad was a cop, but... Oh. Oh. Right. So, yeah. I think about it every day. Not that I've ever, Grandpa didn't want that for me. I'd rather just run a nice bakery. But Does that mean... I don't know for sure. Maybe my parents have, maybe they haven't. I can only assume that their associates would have. Oh. But why bring this up? Did something happen? Orlando pulled his eyes away from me for a few moments before looking back at me, concerned. Nothing yet? Yet? Okay, so I've been having this strange dream lately. Maybe not a dream, but a nightmare. And in this dream, either one of two things happen. Either you die or I die. But always the same way. I gulped, starting to fidget, uncomfortable. How do we die? Orlando didn't say anything at first. Instead, his hand just going to his neck, rubbing it while he looked away. It's not important. It's just a nightmare, right? Oh yeah, right. There were a few moments of tense silence before Orlando growled, clutching his head. Sorry, I went and killed the mood. I've been doing that a lot today, haven't I? I guess your luck is bad. Sorry, Colin. I'm really sorry. Twice, I think? But it's alright. I'd rather have you tell me when you're upset about something. I have to sometimes bug Ty endlessly when he's upset, so it's nice to just be able to be there for you without having to figure out what's wrong. You're so good to me, Dave. Why don't we pick up where we left off for this game, huh? Right. At some point, Orlando came back over and we cuddled back up. Or at least until it was time for dinner, as indicated by his stomach rumbling. You know we don't have to keep playing that same game, right? And honestly, I think the stages we're at might be a little too difficult. Hey, I'm pulling my weight. Sort of. Maybe we could grab a board game or something instead. Don't have to just, do video games this whole time. While I contemplated this, Orlando heated up some leftovers, with some snacking on it as the others came and went. After a while, we'd seen the arrival and departure of everyone, with the exception of Huss, who stuck around. Everyone had enough to eat? I think so, yeah. There's still a whole pizza left in the fridge, though. Gonna eat that tomorrow? No. That's for Benson. Benson? Really? Huh. Didn't think he liked pizza that much. Well, he did ask if there was going to be any leftover, and sure enough, there is. But a whole pizza's worth? Maybe he just really likes pizza? Or there's someone else here. Never know, right? Another person? Like who? It could be anyone, really. Or, as you say, he just really likes pizza. Right, that makes sense, yeah? We are the only ones here, right? Aside from Benson, I mean. As far as I know, yeah. Why? No reason. I guess just if there was someone else here. Seems odd we haven't seen them before now, right? That's a good point. That's a good point. I didn't think about it that way. There's no way they'd be able to get to the kitchen for food without being noticed, and we've been here for basically a week. Now that we've cleared that up, what have you two got on for this evening? Don't know, really. Maybe just more games if Orlando is up to it. So long as we play something else, I'm ready to game all night. Then if you're looking for a third, count me in. I don't think I'll be staying up all night though. By the way, is everything good sound-wise? Just wanted to check up real fast. We finished up and headed on out, hurrying on ahead supposedly to do something before he'd be ready to game. Oh, I just realized there's something I want to check out too. Should I just meet you upstairs with Haas? Orlando seems to hesitate at my question, mulling it over. Yeah, maybe it's a good idea. I won't be long, promise. Well, alright. See you in a bit then. See ya. I watched as Orlando wandered off back towards the kitchen before I headed upstairs to meet Haas. I was the first to arrive and started to browse the video games and board games that we might be able to play as a trio. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm here now. Oh, everything is alright? Yeah. Just had to go do something on my phone. Nothing major. Hold on, let me just check something if everything's alright. Looks alright, on my side at least. It's just that the bitrate seems bad for some reason. I just hope that on the other side of the stream wise, everything's alright as well. There was something off about how he said that. Maybe something in his tone, but it seemed harmless enough. Okay, that's good. That's good to know. Something on your phone, huh? Like a message or... My, nosy are we? Well, if you must know, yes. I just had to talk with someone quickly about something, that's all. Before I could question him further... Sorry, I'm here. I hope I didn't keep you guys waiting. No worries on my end here. Only just arrived myself. Did you got caught up messaging someone as well? They's been grilling me about why I was late. So now it's time to throw you under the bus. Haas emphasized this point by ruffing the fur atop my head and chuckling. No, nothing like that. It was... something else. I'll tell you later, promise. Just still wrapping my head around it. Was it something like what you mentioned before, Orlando? What? Oh, no, nothing like that. Just something I've been thinking about. Well, if you're going to phrase it like that, you're only going to make me more curious. Yeah, well, I'm not saying anything, saying what it is out of principle now. But you'll still tell me, right? If you're lucky. We ended up deciding to pick up where we left off in our game, with Haas tagging out for me so I could just watch. Even halfway through the game, he seemed to pick it up faster than I was. It was getting late though, and I was falling asleep watching them play. To the point where I dozed off, and they had to wake me. They had to wake me. Bleh. This was fun. I'd be happy to do this again sometime for sure. Maybe. Although something feels off about this. I don't know. Something's not sitting right with me, I guess. What do you mean? Well, we're friends, right? Of course, why? I don't know. Something's off. But I can trust you both, right? Okay, now you're scaring me a little, Haas. Okay, well, let me add to that, shall I? Wow. Real great, huh? The reason I was late arriving wasn't because I was talking to someone. It's because I found something in my room. Wow, that's rude, Colin. But ultimately, you're kinda right. What did you find? See, that's the thing. All it was a note. A note doesn't sound so bad. What did it say? Who was it from? Before I tell you, it wasn't from either of you, right? Not for me. Dave? Not me either. Alright, for starters, it wasn't signed by anyone. That seemed not nearly as worrying as I feel it should be. What did it say? It was just a list of words, all underlined in red. Words don't seem bad. I agree, but they were still odd. Are you going to tell us the words? Oh, sure. Let's see. Liminality, arbiter, discovery, to name a few. There were a few like this, but no real context. Wait, let me just check if I've... Yeah, okay, I did note that. Fun fact, maybe as a little teaser for you guys, 2 of these words are actual passwords that you can put in. 2 of these words are valid passwords. Not gonna tell you which ones. No context? Nothing? And this was just in your room? Yeah, I made my bed this morning, so it was deliberately left on my pillow. Wouldn't know when, though. What? What were some of the others? Oh, let me think. Suspend? Metronomy? Wait, matrimony? Are these, any of these make sense to you? No, not really. Orlando, if you were wondering if a specific word was on that list. No, they're just words, right? They don't mean anything. Sure, okay. What did you do with the note, Haas? Probably still in my room. I think I shoved it into my bag, so I need to go digging. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Should we be concerned people are going into other people's room? Might be worth bringing that up at breakfast, maybe. But for now, I could do with some sleep. It's late. Oh, good point. You coming, Orlando? Oh yeah, sure. Just give me a sec to switch everything off. See you guys in the morning. I've still got to take a shower, so good night. Haas left, leaving Orlando and I in the room. He started to switch things off, and I tidied it up a little from how we moved seats and such. I watched as Orlando sluggishly wandered around. He looked more perturbed than just tired, though. Hey, are you okay? Oh yeah, just tired. You look more than tired. It'll be fine, just a lot going through my head. I promise. If you want to talk, we can stay up. I'm sure we can raid the kitchen for some ice cream and just talk, right? Maybe another night. Any night but tonight. I need to sort myself out, I think. Oh, because of Saul stuff? Orlando's expression shifted quickly to one of sadness, but I couldn't quite place the specifics. Yeah, Saul stuff. I'll be okay, Dave. He then came in quietly and gave me a tight hug, squeezing me briefly before just settling into a warm hug. I hugged him back, wrapping my arms as far as they go around his broad frame, his beard tickling my nose. If it wasn't for the proximity, I wouldn't have caught what he said next. You'll sleep soundly tonight, promise. I'll sleep soundly? Just as quickly as the hug had happened, Orlando broke away, holding me at arm's length by my shoulders. Oh, I just mean that, you're tired, right? I bet you'd yawn any minute and fall asleep again. Oh, and the rain too. The sound of thunder rumbled over us, the faint sound of rain starting to hit the mansion echoing into the room. I yawned, stretching my arms and fingers, furthering Orlando's point. Yeah, I guess I have fallen asleep already once, huh? I'll finish up here. You head on to the bed, okay? See you in the morning? Yep, see you at breakfast. I went back to my room and passed out to the sound of of a heavy storm raging outside. I don't know how Dave can do that. I cannot sleep when there's thunder outside. Something about the sound of rain and thunder made me drowsy. I barely made out to my bed before passing out. Oh, I thought that something happened. Or maybe? Because something should happen now. I thought it was. Uh, I know that something is gonna happen. Somehow, despite the storm raging outside, I fell asleep right as the worst of it hit. I remember that much, but beyond that, I was out like a knight. I felt refreshed. It was hard to place exactly how I was feeling, but at the same point during the night, I'd gone under the covers proper. It was an odd feeling. If only by habit I was craving coffee, despite maybe not really needing it to function. Seemed like I hadn't slept in all that long either. I got dressed and made my way downstairs, bumping into Saul near the bottom. Oh, good morning, Saul. Did you sleep well? No, was restless. Maybe it was the storm. I thought you liked the rain, though. Help me get to sleep, but I was up with Orlando and Haas last night, so I was tired to begin with. Hmm. You look like you need coffee more than I do. No, I'm fine. I was just waiting for Orlando. Waiting for him here, though. Why? He wasn't in the kitchen. That he doesn't live there though, Saul. I know, but he's prone to routine. It's not breakfast time though, is it? He's been getting up the same time as me almost. Or I'm awake and he's already making me something to eat. Oh well, you're not forcing him to, right? Please say you aren't. I'm not, but it's nice. I hope that Saul's the voice I gave Saul isn't too quiet. I just hope that you can hear it. You haven't seen him, have you? I've only just gotten my up myself, so no, sorry. Oh, all right then. Would you like to get coffee together then? Oh, sure. Already had your swim this morning? Not yet. After breakfast, though. Saul and I wandered into the kitchen and he started making coffee. Do you drink coffee often, Sal? Not often. I get tired of the taste, but I don't dislike it. I do like tea though. Whatever it was that Orlando likes, ginseng tea, I think. Sal handed me a cup of coffee, and I wandered over to the fridge to retrieve the milk. How often do you two have tea anyway? He mentioned yesterday you two hang out sometimes. He did? Oh. Not often, really. I handed Saul the milk and he declined, sipping from his own mug and looking out the window. Surprisingly dry outside. Guess the storm didn't go as long as I thought it did. I only caught the start of it, so maybe it hit hard and then stopped? Maybe. We stood around in a relative silence during drinking our coffee. There wasn't all that much to say, but I was enjoying the warm feeling going from my gut to the tips of my finger as the coffee did its job. Morning. Morning. Sleep well, pup? Before I could get a word in, Ty swiped the mug from my hands and downed what was left before taking it over to the machine to make some more. Reflexes a bit slow, Dave? Hey, I'm still waking up. But all the early risers are here plus Tyson. Plus you too, you dork. Ty drank from the renewed mug before passing it back to me, pulling out his phone and looking at something. I grumbled but gratefully took the mug and sipped from it. But really, why are you up so early, Ty? No reason. Or more accurately, he's trying to make friends. Oi, watch it. That's not what I said. Oh, are you sure? I could have sworn you were saying something about, and I quote, I don't want to have a shit time and make Dave upset. Hey, that's pretty cool. Yeah, well, whatever. I asked what he was doing with his stretches and just offered to show him some actual gym stuff. Right, maybe it's best if we leave it at that. I don't want to pry any further into your reasons after all. Dude, whatever. These guys are being bros. The pair of them wandered out of the kitchen, presumably heading to the gym. Given Haas' normal schedule of getting up early and doing his thing, it made sense. However, you've been quiet for a bit there, Sal. Everything alright? One's missing. One's missing? What? Look. Sal pointed to the knife block, where every knife was in its place bar one. Maybe it's always been missing? No, it was there yesterday. I remember from the lesson. Seems like an odd thing to just go missing though. Maybe it broke? Like the handle came off? Are you that oblivious, Dave? Are you that oblivious? Bruh. I've seen this in the very first case of Danganronpa, where there's a sudden knife that was missing. Are you so oblivious, Dave? Maybe. The others, they went to the gym. I think so. Why? Maybe I should go too. It might be good, just in case. What do you mean, just in case? In case Haas says something and get himself in trouble with Tyson. Oh, he's not that bad, I promise. One hard stare from Sal made me backpedal quickly, however. Okay, so maybe it's not a bad idea to have someone else there just to make sure. If Haas was telling the truth about Ty's reason, though, it can only be good, right? Perhaps. Well, if you're going down there and there's no one else is around yet, I may as well come too. Okay. The music's gone, so shit's gonna happen now. It was dark in the basement. The lights were off, but the light from the gym lit up enough of the way forward. Why didn't they turn on the lights, Sal? I caught Sal's silhouette shrugging before he rumbled back a reply, audibly uncertain. Cats and dog have good night vision, right? Maybe. But maybe don't phrase it that way around the other two. Ty's touchy about it, and I don't know Haas I don't know how. Don't know how Haas might take it. As we got to the edge of the gym, something was nagging me. Something was telling me that there was just something off. I backtracked, feeling around the light switch to the basement, and flicked it on, blinding myself. What are you doing? I just thought. I was rubbing my eyes, blinking to try and shake off the sudden onset of light before I noticed it. Wait. What? The door to the vault room. It's open. Is it normally closed? I would imagine so, right? Wandering closer, I figured the worst was that someone had just left it open. As I eased the door open though. So, now let me talk about this. Orlando's death might be the most mysterious one. I try to analyze every death, and his death is the most weird or the most mysterious, because one thing you can notice is that he's got no scratches, no injuries whatsoever. There is no blood anywhere. So my only theory is that someone injected a deadly substance within him. That's why there's no blood, no injuries, no scratches. It's because it's because someone basically injected him something deadly within him. I think that's why there is no traces of battle, or no traces of struggling or whatsoever. It's the only thing I can conclude, because there is nothing pointing to any other type of death or thing. Maybe, but I doubt it. I think it's someone with a needle that just surprised him from behind and injected him something in his veins and killing him. I can't be sure though. But yeah. It's kind of funny that the first route I go for is the one route where the character death, or the first death, is the most mysterious one. Anyways. What? Orlando? Well, maybe the culprit just took the needle with them, not leaving the needle behind. So, yeah, we don't know. It could be that, and I don't think it could be anything else. Upon me saying that, Sal approached from behind, either curious or something else, I don't know, but he approached quickly. Why are you... But Sal pushed past me, kneeling down and getting a closer look. My eyes fell upon the knife that was laying beside him. Oh hey, found the knife, Sal. Sal? My god, Dave. Dave, are you so fucking oblivious? The knife's not important now. My god, this man. Go get help, quick. Huh? Almost immediately, Sal started performing CPR on Orlando. I recognized what it was, but I didn't understand why. He was just sleeping, right? Is he that oblivious? Dave, go. But it turns out Sal's bellowing was enough to call the others on its own. Dave, you are... What in the world? All eyes were trained on Sal's focused, determined expression as he continued doing compressions. Not good. Ambulance? Less talk, more ambulance. Sal was baring his teeth now, Haas was taking this as his cue to dash out of the room back upstairs. What should I do? Damn it. Damn it. Breathe, Orlando. Come on, pup. Let's get you out of here. Ty eased me out of the room. At the very least, Sal had some space. Even just on the outside of the door, we could hear his grumbling and muttering as he continued his efforts. Orlando, he's not. Ty gave me a hard stare, sober but serious. Ty, is Orlando? It doesn't look good, pup. You know what Sal's doing. I know what he's doing. We both know when you're supposed to do it. When you're supposed to do it. But Ty went back into Sal, leaving me to process what had happened. I could hear them talking about something, but I was tuning them out, wondering what had happened. I slumped against the wall, hugging my knees. Eventually, the paramedics arrived and took over for Sal, but they took him away all the same. Police came next, took some statements from those of us before leaving. It was around this time that Dean and Roswell were told of what had happened. I don't think I'd seen Sal so emotional. After Orlando was taken away, he cycled through sadness and anger, punching the walls until his knuckle was bloody and raw. Dean managed to get him under control, and between the pair of us, we bandaged him up. He ripped through into himself soon after that, with only Dean managing to get him to talk. I was barred from the funeral. In fact, all of us were. A family only affair, apparently, but the amount of black suits around it was an oppressive atmosphere to be in. I hadn't seen as many dragons about the place, all of them shooting me steely looks as they filed past. A couple of days after that, I started getting mail from Orlando's family, threats, demands for answers. Here I was, even unsure of how he died. As far as I could tell, there wasn't a single mark on his body. So yeah, that is a confirmation that there is no injuries on his body. So pretty much my only conclusion is like I said, an injection. It got bad enough that I didn't feel safe anymore. And with some planning, my options were to move in with Dean and his family, or to go to the other side of the country with Haas. And you're sure about this, Dave? Well, yeah, I think so. Don't worry, Dean. I'll look after him. By the time we're there, he'll be safe. Promise. Well, alright. Dean came in and gave me a hug, followed by a kiss on my forehead. But if you ever need anything at all, I'll jump on a plane and be there as fast as I can. How's Sal holding up? He's holding it together. Been to the cemetery a couple of times already. First, he just sat there for a solid hour, staring at the headstone. A second time, he had a small conversation with himself, or Orlando. It didn't feel right to listen in, so I gave him some space. He'd probably like a phone call every now and again. If you can spare the time. Absolutely. Minimum once a week. I'll even give him a call when we're on the road. Maybe take some pictures to send him. He'd probably like that. I looked to the last suitcase and put it into Haas's car as Dean looked in my letterbox to make sure I didn't miss anything. I forgotten about us moving in with Haas. That does seem like a bad ending to me, that's for sure. I don't want to live with Haas. Everything but that. Huh? What's this? Dean flashed a small folded envelope, sealed with wax. Fancy letter. Is this what you've been getting? Nothing like that, no. Come on, Dean. He doesn't need that. So, the letter is very important, actually. I eyed the letter in Dean's hand before reaching out for it. He handed it to me carefully and peeled it open to scan its contents. Is it what I think it is? Shouldn't have opened it. No, wait, listen to this. Babe, I can only imagine the other letters or correspondence you've been receiving from Orlando's family. Take it from someone who comes from a family equally, if not more wealthy. That such wealth comes with enemies. They are looking for someone to blame as they grieve. Still, I can assuredly say that this wasn't some accident, but someone intent on carrying out some sort of execution, a death sentence, as it were. Remember that word carefully. If you have not considered relocating, at least for a time, that would be my suggestion. It helped me when someone dear left this world, if only for a little bit. And then it's just signed OH at the bottom. But all the writing they underlined all the writing they underlined the word sentence. Seems like seems written slightly thicker too. Or maybe it's just a writing quirk. Or they're just being cryptic. I mean, it's nice knowing that there's someone out there that's not sending me death threats, I guess. By far, it's not the worst letter I've gotten lately, so that's a plus. And there'll be plenty of nice ones outside of Bill's. They'll be in the mail when we get there. You'll be alright, Dave. Shall we get on the road? Double check you've got everything? Snacks? Water? It's a long drive after all. We'll be fine. We can stop off on the way. Yeah, it's only a long drive, not the trek out into the wilderness. Well, alright. But give me a hug, yeah? At his request, I wandered over and hugged Dean tightly, him returning it in kind. We lingered there with Huss playing with his car keys nearby, almost oblivious to his presence. When we broke, Dean coughed slightly, turning, but I caught him wiping his eyes with his arm. Alright, give me a call when you get in, alright? And remember to call Saul. Will do. That was how things were going to be for a while. Huss and I were going to move in together someplace on the other coast to get away from it all. Tyson said he would have been happy to drive me, but I got the impression that he didn't want it to linger. He did come to visit though. Dean kept in touch, as did Saul, but it was clear that things weren't the same back home. With Orlando's passing, there were a few unsavory incidents that caused Dean to relocate out our way, but I lost contact with Sal. Roswell and Tyson seemed to disappear completely. One day they just stopped replying to messages. It was sad, but the change in scenery and the company I did still have made it better. So that's a bad end. So. Oh, okay, so they do let you go. Okay, that's a change that I wasn't aware of. So I suppose that if I say yes, they will put me back to the vault, right? Yep, okay. Okay, that's a nice change. That's a nice change because when I played it, uh, after getting the ending, you were put back to the title screen. But I'm glad that they changed it so that even if you didn't save at the vault, you can get back to the vault. That's good. That's good. I'm glad of this change, but it's still important to save for every trip of your vault of the vault. But yeah, so now let's save him. Let's save him. So we need to use the word sentence. And that's how you're supposed to continue the game. A chill went up my spine to accompany the chime signaling that the password I'd put in was correct. Huh? Then I was then blindfolded with an image in my head. It seemed like Orlando was sleeping somewhere with a knife. Seeing the image again made me conscious of the floor beneath me, concrete, like what Orlando was laying down on. When the room came back into view, I was staring at the floor. I had questions, namely about why Orlando would be down there with a knife, but he seemed fine. Despite that, though, something disturbed me about the implications of it. Taking one last look around, I headed back to my room to prepare for breakfast. Okay, so now that I've put in the password, I am we're going to like skip forward because we basically like saw all of that already, but eventually something's gonna change. Yeah, that's gonna do the same thing. Oh wait, I didn't do this choice. Oh, sorry, that was probably a bit too personal. Figured that you had a boyfriend at some point and that, you know. Oh, no, nothing like that. To be honest, that'd be nicer the way you have to have your first time, but actually it was just one of my father's work associates. I gave Orlando a deadpan stare, torn between confusion and worry as to what sort of circumstances led to such an event. Oh, everything was bored and legal, believe me. Just, I suppose part of it was the prospect of getting to bed with your boss's son? Or maybe it was something else. Either way, I liked how he looked and it just sorta happened. Oh, everything alright? I don't know what sort of thing I was expecting, just what? I don't know. I guess it's just something I assumed was really special. It is, but you can still have fun with it. Just maybe have your first time with someone you trust in case you want to stop or something goes wrong. Okay, back to business. Okay, so now things are gonna change. Now things are gonna change. Also, I'm getting quite hot here actually. That's the heat of the summer is still not really great. Okay, I watched as Orlando left, and the nagging feeling I was having was telling me that maybe I should follow. Nah. I'm not gonna stop right now. Come on. He said that he wouldn't be all that long, so I could just wait, but you have to follow him because otherwise he's gonna die again, I think. Worst case scenario, I'd just make up some excuse that I wanted to drink, but I peeked my head out, catching a glimpse of Orlando heading downstairs, and I gave him another few seconds head start before I followed him down into the basement. It was likely the muttering that covered my footsteps, although I couldn't quite make out what he was saying. What did surprise me was that he went into the vault room. Okay, I'm fairly certain. I edged closer, peering through the open door to see Orlando messing with the keypad, scratching his hand. As I shifted my weight to get a better look, the door creaked and Orlando spun around. Who's there? Dave? Oh, hi. You almost gave me a heart attack. What you were doing down here? More importantly, I told you only be, I'd be only a couple of minutes. Orlando rubbed his temples while I scanned the room. Nothing seemed out of place as far as I could tell, but it was such a strange place to just decide to check out. Did you follow me for a reason? Kind of disappointed you'd do that. Would you believe, I thought you were in danger? In danger of what? Still, I suppose your heart was in the right place. What brought you down here anyway? Hmm? Oh, like I said upstairs, I just wanted to check something. But here, of all places? Yes, here. This place seems important. I guess? I don't know. It's just a feeling I get. Sort of like the feeling I get standing in the front of the one at home. But at least I know what's inside that one. Wait, you have one of those at home? Not like this, but we do have a treasure vault thing. But at your house. Your parents are bankers, right? Shouldn't they be, having that sort of stuff at the bank? Dave being oblivious. More like the hideout, I guess. But you still don't honestly believe that my parents are bankers, right? That's what you told me, did they? Wait, that's what you told me they did. And you live in a nice house, so. Dave, think about it real hard. Think about maybe why my dad didn't like yours, or why you weren't allowed back at my house after they found out your dad was a cop. I thought it was because I didn't know how to use chopsticks. Well, that didn't really help, but that's why I was so intent on teaching you after that. But they really didn't like Dan. What sort of people don't like cops? Oh. Oh, wait. Well, slightly different. Right. Wait. So, your family is. Let's maybe leave it there, just in case. But I promise you, I haven't done anything bad. That's all my parents and their associates. Grandpa was pretty keen on keeping me out of the family business for as long as I can remember. Oh, right. Gotcha. Still, the prospect of death is just so. Orlando shuddered, hugging himself. I do not want to see people die. At the very least, people I know. Hey, Orlando, none of us are dying, right? Promise. I pushed the thoughts of how I saw Orlando to the back of my mind to stop dwelling on the prospects what I'd seen was the worst case scenario. You promise? You'll be careful. Hey, I'll promise if you to be careful if you do. Seems fair. I promise I'll be careful too then. Orlando and I headed back upstairs to spend some more time gaming. We were getting a fair way in, but I was struggling to keep up. Needing a break, and given the time, we headed down to the kitchen to get something to eat. You know, we didn't oh. Okay, now it's the skipping, okay. But suddenly that realizing hesitation fell away, replaced with with a warm smile. Please, all I'm going to do is just check the vote again. Wait, why? Peace of mind, really. Don't worry, I didn't forget the promise. I'll be careful. I narrowed my gaze, giving him a look of suspicion. Hey, I mean it. Just, it's a thing I remember Saul talking about once. The more you confront something scary, the less control it has over you, right? Oh, so you're going to try overcoming your fear of ghosts and stuff too? Maybe not right now, but eventually that'd be nice. Still, you head on up. I won't be long. Only a couple minutes to gather my thoughts and I'll be right there. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Yep. Orlando headed towards the basement before patting his pockets, turning around and heading instead towards the kitchen. Guess he left his phone behind? As for me, I headed up the stairs to meet with Haas. Are you so oblivious, Dave? Please, save him. I locked my eyes with Orlando, the two of us knowing that he'd been and where he'd been and seemingly on the same wavelength about sharing that with Haas. Okay, the same. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna like casually skip the lines that I can skip. I looked from Haas to Orlando, trying to stare at the lion down to get him to stop crying. Yeah. I gave Orlando a hard stare before nodding gently. I talked to him already about being careful and he'd promised. Okay, sleep well, Orlando. You too, Dave. I turned to go again, hesitating again and causing Orlando to place a hand on my shoulder. You alright? You're acting kind of funny. Just tired? I think so, but you will be careful, right? Careful? Well, yeah, I don't plan on, taking any unnecessary risks. Alright, alright. Go to bed before you pass out. I'll see you in the morning. Wait, is it the. Wait, what? I didn't. Wait, what? I didn't save them? What the fuck? Wait, what? Wait, what? Hold on, the password should have worked. Wait, the password should have worked. Wait, what the frick? Hold on, what? Excuse me, what did I chose wrong? Sentence. No, it's sentence. It's only one password for the first one, or there's only one valid password for the first day. It's only sentence. It cannot be anything else. Okay, so wait, did I had any other choices besides? Wait, let me just check if I had any other choices besides following Orlando. Wait, okay, so I'm supposed I don't follow him? That is weird. I decided against it, instead fearing that he was going to be back soon enough, and if it was that major, he'd just fill me in later. I pulled out my phone and started browsing the internet while I waited. 5 minutes before passed before I heard someone approaching, and I turned to see who was there. Oh wait, that's the same thing. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. I think that is that is right here, actually. My god, why am I struggling with him? The image of Orlando on the ground flashed in my mind, and I wondered whether at this time it was worth following, or better yet, beating him to where he'd ended up. Yeah, maybe it's a good idea. I won't be long, promise. Alright, see you upstairs. See ya then. I nodded to Orlando as he wandered back toward the kitchen. As for me, I wasn't going to be heading upstairs at all. Okay, there we go. There we go. There we go. If my hunch was correct, there was only one place in the mansion that I'd been to that had a floor matching like the one in that vision, the vault. Was something oppressive about standing here. I hadn't come here to mess with the panel. I'd done that already, but now I figured it was just time to wait. I paced for a few moments before hearing someone approach. I backed up against the wall and waited, keeping my eyes on the door. I thought so. Dave, what are you doing here? It was at this point that Orlando realized that the carving knife he had in his hand was on full display, and he quickly hid it behind his back. Me, what about you? With a knife as well. Oh, I can't explain that. Okay. So the knife is for, were you expecting someone down here? Not exactly, but maybe? Orlando sighed out, stepping into the room properly. He looked into the basement before closing the door behind him, leaving us alone in the room before the vault door. Time to come clean, I guess. Did you come down here before? Yeah, and you're probably going to think I'm crazy. Orlando pointed to the panel over by the door, gesturing with his head. I messed around with that before. It was maybe a couple of days ago. But apparently I got the code of the door right. At least it made a happy chiming sound before all lights went out. I suddenly felt cold, a shiver going down my spine as Orlando's description seemed very familiar. You got the code, right? Crazy, right? The door didn't open, I don't think. I might have passed out and had a dream or something, but it worried me all the same. This was where nightmare I was telling you about before. Orlando wandered over, fidgeting. It it couldn't have been real, right? I looked at him in the eye, and all I could do is grimace at him. If what I saw was this in the same vein, then it might not have been real, at least not anymore. What did you see? In your dream, I mean. You didn't tell me before, but now. I gestured loosely at the vault door. Oh, are you sure you want to know that? If you tell me, I'll tell you what I saw. You saw something too and didn't say anything? Hey, now, I was in the same boat as you. You're right. You're right. Okay, so after all the lights went out, I saw you. That doesn't sound so bad. With a bear. Dean? I don't know. I don't think so. But more importantly, you were, Orlando's voice trailed off into a whisper, keeping that volume as he continued to speak. Dead, I think. Well, yeah, you said that, but how was I dead? Orlando paled, his free hand going to his neck and rubbing it, refusing to look at me. Mirroring him, I found myself doing the same, gulping. Oh. A few tense moments passed with neither of us saying anything, the implication of what Orlando had done speaking enough to get to the point across. Well, that's fair. Something happened to me as well, except I saw you. Me? What? Well, you looked like you were sleeping, but if this thing shows people dead, then oh, how did I die? I don't know. You looked like you were just sleeping, but you had a knife with you. Do I want to know how I died? I'd rather not try to remember, really. What did you put into the thing? Me? Oh, sentence. Without waiting, Orlando wandered over to the keypad, punching in something before it beeping angrily at him. That doesn't work. Just come back with that it's wrong. But I only used it this morning. I wandered over and punched in the same, but it beeped angrily at me as well. I promise, it worked before. Well, I guess they only work once. Let's try yours. What word did you punch in? Yeah, I'm not risking that one. Wait, that's not fair. Yeah, well, maybe I don't want to think about seeing my best friend hanging from a rather, rafter somewhere by the neck. Sorry, just it looked gruesome. I'd hate to think that you'd see it and it give you nightmares. It's making me squeamish enough as it is. I grumbled, folding my arms over my chest in a puff. Orlando gently placed the knife on the ground and wrapped his arms around me in a hug, resting his head atop mine. Was was your plan anyway? Coming down here with the knife? Honestly, I was about ready to camp out here tonight and maybe try and fight off anyone coming to put more bad things into this machine. Would that work? I don't know. I just wanted to feel brave for once. Thinking that I'd be saving your life got me enough courage to at least try planning something out. But now? But now I'm worried about how things I might have kicked the bucket. How I might have kicked the bucket trying that if what you saw was right. You said I looked like I was sleeping, and sentence was the code? I nodded, and Orlando picked the knife back up, tapping the flat of it lightly on the palm of his other hand while he thought. I wonder. Wonder what? That we should be getting back to Haas? Oh shoot, I had forgotten about Haas for a moment. But no, something else. I wonder if it was a reference to a death sentence, capital punishment and such, right? Uh, okay, but why? There are a few things that Grandpa taught me about the family business. Things you can hide in food, things you should look out uh, for just in case, stuff like that. More protection, really. Honest. But there was one time he was telling me about how inmates on death row get executed by lethal injection. There's three parts. One of the injection is like a really strong muscle relaxant. Apparently, an overdose of that can shut down all your muscles and you suffocate without being able to gasp for air. Okay, so it might actually be that. It might actually be that. That sounds horrible. Well, yes, but that might be able to cause what you saw, at least based on that code word. Not to imply I know more than about this than you. That's just what it seems to be what makes sense to me. Orlando gave me another squeeze with one arm before pulling away. Come on, let's go meet up with Huss and get back there to that game. Orlando detoured on the way back to drop the knife off back in the kitchen, but seemed to dash back to me, so we arrived at the room at the same time. But Huss was the one wandering over to us, seemingly fine with how late we were. Oh, Haas, sorry to keep you waiting, for keeping you waiting. Yeah, that's my fault, sorry. Nah, it's alright. I figured something might be given might be up given you weren't uh there after I already showed up. Got distracted myself. Oh yeah, with what? Nothing important. Creepy, but not important, really. I shot Orlando a look before turning back to Haas. Did you, what? You expecting me to kiss and tell? I wouldn't ask that. Wait, I wouldn't ask that of you, given who knows about what. My God, what you two were up to while I was waiting. We weren't. Doesn't bother me any, but maybe next time give me a heads up so gets up you two want some alone time to make out. Really, doesn't bother me at all. It's not that. But we really weren't. Well, I'll let you guys get back to it. I think I could do with an early night after all. But I'll grab you two in the morning to show you this thing I found creepy. You're gonna show us? Right when we wake up? Would you rather show would you rather me show you now and then you'd struggle to get sleep because of it? Pass on that one, Huss. Tomorrow morning it is then. It is. I'll come get you and we'll assemble somewhere. I'll think of it and deal with it in the morning. Alrighty. Good night, you two. Have fun kissing and stuff. Haas bounced away, leaving Orlando and I awkwardly standing there with the implication that we'd been doing things we hadn't. So, he thinks we were kissing, huh? Seems like it. Should we do something about that? Well, Orlando seemed to be thinking hard on something before he just came out and asked, would you like to? Wait, what? Alright, so go on, go with me on this. Way I see it, Haas might let that slip to someone, and then we could have get chewed out for something we didn't do. Alternatively, we could do it, and then, well, basically that's as far as that goes. But really, if you've never kissed someone before, then maybe getting some practice in for when you kiss Dean could be useful. Do you really think that help? Hey, imagine when you two go on a date and then rather than you being completely clueless or accidentally biting his tongue, you have some idea of what to do. And now we're going back to happy times. The idea made some level of sense, although part of me was still nervous about the whole kissing thing. Was there an obligation for Orlando and I to be more than just friends if we kissed? He liked Saul anyway, right? And I guess I had a thing for Dean. No, you don't. Not anymore, at least. Apparently. The longer I mulled over the question, the more I noticed Orlando getting antsy about my lack of reply. We don't have to. Just an idea. I think it might be alright to get some practice in. Like, at least being walked through it once might help. Well, alright, I think I can do that. Let's go. Orlando led the way to my room, figuring that at least in my own space I'd be more comfortable. Okay, so Kissing 101, class is in session. I felt my cheeks burn and I went to sit on the bed, figuring that was the most comfortable place to be while Orlando explained. First thing to know is that there is no wrong way to kiss. Wait, but you were saying that the thing about the tongue biting. Aside from that, don't go biting people. Also, don't go accidentally spitting embers into their mouths. Also, maybe don't just force your tongue into their mouths. Okay, let's try this. I think I have a pretty good read on Dean. This is just like role-playing, right? Oh, who should I be? If we're role-playing, I guess I should be someone, right? That'd be you, Dave. I'll be Dean. Oh, okay. This isn't getting awkward whatsoever. Oh man, I was waiting for that moment. I love that moment with Orlando. Hi, Dean. There was a moment pause before Orlando lowered his voice and winked at me, planting his hand on his hips as Dean was prone to do, and spoke. Well, hello, handsome. You're looking pretty kissable right now. I felt my cheeks burn again, ears standing right up from a combination of how embarrassing it sounded coming from Orlando, but also how accurate he was being in capturing Dean's personality. I started to laugh, nervous, stopping only when I noticed Orlando start to move. Oh, he sauntered. Wait, is that really a word? Sauntered? I've never seen that word before. What is sauntered? Forward, placing a hand on my shoulder and lifted my chin with the other. Do you want a kiss? Orlando gently tipped me back so that I was laying back on the bed, with him coming up beside the bed so my lap was in his. He kept eye contact with me the whole way down, his breathing becoming slightly heavier, eyelids drooping, voice barely above a whisper. I think he'd kiss you like... I love that CG. I love that CG. It's just so goddamn cute. I love it. There was a moment's pause before I came closer again and shut my eyes as I felt his breath on my nuzzle. It was warm, very warm, but I could only register it for a second before he presented his lips to mine. I squeaked softly, one of his hands planted somewhere next to my head while his other wandered up my shirt before settling against my side. Without breaking away, he pried my muzzle open with his tongue and deepened the kiss, once more getting me to squeak and squirm with the new but good sensation. He broke away, breathing heavy, eyes glassy and with a noticeably redder tinge in his cheek than before. How was that? My arms came up to wrap around his neck and kissed him back. I wasn't sure if it was because I'd enjoy it so much the first time, or I wanted more practice, or if it was something more than that. Either way, Orlando was willing to oblige me, kissing me back full force, but differently to the first time. It was warm, a pleasant warmth that he somehow seemed to spread through me the longer we kissed. Was this what kissing Orlando was like without him pretending to be Dean? Was I just making out with the one of my best friends now? It didn't last all that long, and we separated. My heart was racing, and as my arms slid out from around Orlando's neck, I felt his racing in his chest too. That wasn't bad. He laughed, shuffling back slightly and keeping his gaze averted. His tail was between his legs. His tail was between his legs ever so slightly, threatening to trip him up on his retreat. Yeah, you think I'd be alright with kissing in the future? Yeah, you're a natural, I think. Oh, well, good. You don't need any lessons from me. Nope. Well, what if I want more? It's getting spicy in here, huh? Wait, really? I've forgotten about this choice. This is exactly why I love Orlando. He's just so goddamn cute. Yes. If I'm being honest, yeah, I like that. Both times or just the first one? Both? Oh, Dave, I'm sorry. I forgot that we were supposed to be role-playing and got distracted. The second kiss wasn't what Dean would have likely to do at all, though. Well, yeah, I gathered that. And yet, you still... I felt like I was conflicting Orlando a little bit, but the blush on his scale seems to imply that he didn't mind the idea of potentially doing it again. I mean, who better to share my first kiss with, right? Oh geez, keep that up and my scales will go red permanently. It'll be an interesting look for sure. For now though, I should probably jump in bed. My eyes darted down when I noticed Orlando going to adjust himself and I looked away, pretending I hadn't seen. We were going to get woken by Haas early anyway, right? Oh my god. You missed... You missed something. You missed something amazing, Colin. Wow. You missed something amazing. Right, so, good night, Dave. Sleep well. Yeah, you too. You missed, Orlando and Dave kissing. So, yeah. Orlando quickly left the room. Wait. Orlando quickly left the room, almost tripping on his tail on the way out. No sooner than he was gone, I let out a sigh and had apparently been keeping in and fell back onto my bed. Yes, it was very cute. I loved it. I think I can show in the gallery actually because, yeah, right there, yeah. But yeah, you can check in the VOD as well. I pulled myself up off the bed after a couple of minutes when the sound of a storm brewing far off made me yawn, stripping off my shirt to get comfortable again. With the rolling thunder in overhead, I figured it was best to settle in for the night. As I laid on my bed listening to the thunder, my thoughts wandered. The longer I lay there, the more I noticed the faintest background noise, seemingly coming from everywhere in the room, like the walls themselves were breathing. I rolled off the bed and stood in the middle of the room, trying to pinpoint the location of the sound. Where is that coming from? Hello. It's getting mysterious now, even more. The sudden greeting made me jump. It sounded garbled, almost like they were putting on a fake accent. Who's there? It is good that we finally get to talk. Me? And a lie. Of sorts. I slapped my face, thinking I'd fallen asleep. The cameras are actually not operational, but planting the microphones and the speakers seems to be without issue. You bugged the room? To keep things simple, let's say yes. Immediately I started to search the room for the bugs. No, it's not. It's not Dragon Island. I swear. You'll see. Please pay attention. I have come to warn you. To deliver 2 messages. I stopped, listening for what the voice had to say. The first message is thus: you and your friends are in grave danger. From what? I cannot give specifics, but all of you are marked for death. Death? Now I was convinced I was dreaming, and went back to slapping my face to try to and wake up. Please do not slap yourself. You're making me nervous. I'm making you nervous? Ah, I apologize. I did not mean any alarm. After giving myself a few more slaps as a precaution, I was convinced I was awake. Are you quite alright? Oh yeah, I'm fine. Just totally creeped out that my room is bugged by some guy telling me that I'm about to die. For what it is worth, I am truly sorry. The second message. No, hold on. Holding. First of all, this is fucking insane. Second, why are you telling me? Third, what the fuck? I mean, honestly, quite a reasonable reaction. The absurdity and my nerves were starting to get the better of me. That classic hyena snicker starting to punctuate how nervous I was getting over time. Please understand, I do this only to warn you. I do not want to see people die. At first, I did not think there was any real danger until I saw you in the vault. The vault? I did not expect someone to get it to work. Honestly, it was never meant to function at all. I rubbed my eyes, tiredness catching up with me. Yeah, well, was it just an hallucination or something? I don't know. A hallucination that saves someone's life. The comment hung in the air while I moved back over to the bed, closing my eyes to trying to get some sleep. The likelihood of you believing me is near 0%, I can tell. I just wanted to get some sleep, go talk to someone else. Unfortunately, there isn't the time. I needed to relay these messages to you now before it happens again. After all, I know what you did. And what did I do? You saved a life, more than what I could accomplish with all the knowledge I've accumulated over the years. I didn't save anyone. Oh, really? I do not know why Orlando wanted to have a late night vigil in front of the vault, however. I feel like you warning him about the danger of being brave had stopped him from meeting an unfortunate demise, no? Wait, then. I stopped myself, wondering if whoever this was knew about Orlando's use of the vault too. Chances were, if he was surprised that I got it to work, probably not. Was something amiss? Oh no, just thinking about something funny. You? Hold on. I'm getting cold again. My god. I'm switching between getting cold and getting hot. It's terrible in this season. There was a moment of silence before the voice spoke again. Either way, I could not send Benson without knowing what you saw. Benson? He works for you? He's my butler. Of course he does. Although you'll find him a lot less of an ally than I can be currently. I wondered just what Benson had been told or ordered to do, but it was becoming more likely that he was the one who installed the bugs in my room. No. I'll tell you right away, no. Well, alright, but what do I call you then? Ah, that is difficult to answer. Not even a code name or anything? There was nothing but a static for a while before the voice came through again. Oz. What? Like the Wizard of Oz? The Wizard of? Is this acceptable? Fine, whatever. Oz it is. You had a second message, right? Oh, yes, correct. The second message was the motive for you to stay. Understandably, having your life at risk may cause you to want to flee, but I assure you, this is a bad decision. Give me one reason. If you can make it through your time here, alive, along with all your friends, I can consider it a success. However, as it stands, the shadow of death lingers over at least one of your friends regardless. It was sounded like this ally was suddenly a lot more malicious than he was letting on. Oh, you don't know he fucking is. What what if we leave you're going to kill one of us? No, no. That is what I wish to avoid. I cannot speak for who is behind this, however. It is merely what I have discovered. As a sign of good faith, I can arrange a chauffeur to take you back home right now if you so wish, or at the very least, publicly available taxi if you do not feel safe. Huh? I respect that this has come out of nowhere, and asking you to trust a disembodied voice claiming that there is death in store for you and your own near insanity. But please, trust in me. I don't. I was in that very strange state where I was so tired, but awake enough for everything to start sinking in. What if seemed to be the question sticking with me. What if we were all in danger? What if the only way to save my friends was to stay? But what if this person on the other side of the microphone was lying? What if they're the reason I had a gut feeling and my visions of my friend's demise? I had a choice to make, stay or leave. If I left, I could guarantee at least my own life and a trip to a therapist afterwards. But if I stayed, who knows what could have happened? It all came down to if I could trust Oz or not. So I don't think anything interesting happens if you leave. It just leads to another game over. So no. From what I remember, it only leads you to another game over, or another bad end. But I don't think there's anything interesting that happens if you leave. Okay, I'll stay. This bring me much relief, friend. This bring much relief, friend. But that don't think that means I trust you. But what am I meant to do now? I would suggest sleeping. I'll see I'll see what I can find out for you and relay it when I can confirm you're alone. It is best that, in case one of your friends is behind this, my intervention on their plan goes unnoticed. So what? I'm supposed to doubt my friends? In the interest of being rational? No. It would make no sense to put everything you trust in me anyway. You will need your friends to get through this. And what if I need to contact you? There should be no need. I promise that, assuming we can talk again tomorrow night, you can ask me as many questions as you like and I'll do my best to answer. You'll do your best. I do not know everything, and nor do I wish to give myself away. Fine, fine. I'll have my questions ready. Okay, well, sleep well, friend. You too, I guess. But the only thing that greeted me was the silence. Not even any background noise to say that the speaker was still broadcasting. Okay, back to trying to sleep, I guess. No sooner had I laid my head on my pillow, the rain started to fall. Soon after that, I drifted off to sleep. That was a weird day, wasn't it? Somehow, despite the storm raging outside, I fell asleep right at the worst of it. Oh, wait, okay. Bah! Good morning! A sudden voice caused me to jump, expecting to have a moment alone before breakfast. No, did I startle you? I rubbed my eyes, struggling once more to find a place to stare at while I spoke to the disembodied voice. Wasn't expecting you to say hello so soon. What happened to talking tonight? Ah, yes. I wanted to relay one last thing while I had the chance. I was going to bed, but you seemed preoccupied. I buried my face in my hands, hiding my apparent embarrassment from someone who apparently couldn't even see me to begin with. What did you want, Oz? I have informed Benson that we have spoken. You should find him an ally of sorts, but he still has things he needs to do for me. Also, he trailed off, leaving me with silence for a moment. I was just as I was about to check if he was still there, he spoke once more. Remember, be cautious. There is every chance that one of your friends is the one behind it all, riding the coattails of this vacation towards something malicious. I thought you said I shouldn't doubt my friends, and I believe that to be correct mentally. Merely be careful. Fine, fine, careful. As for tonight, meet me in the library at 11 p.m. Wait, we're going to be talking in person? I believe this is the best way to do it. You seem to dislike chatting over the radio. Benson also believed that. If there is to be some level of mutual trust, I must need to talk to you in the flesh. I am aware I said I do not wish to give myself away, but my want of seeing no one die outweighs staying hidden, at least for just one person, being you. Additionally, there are certain things best left for in person. Remember, library, 11 p.m. But there was nothing but silence to follow. It seems that for the time being, Oz was done talking. I figured there was nothing really left to do shy of getting ready for breakfast. I just finished putting my pants on when there was a knock on my door. Come in. Good morning. Oh, good morning. I slipped on a fresh shirt. I followed by my hoodie as Haas started to talk again. Ready for this creepy thing? So soon? Can't I have coffee first? You could, but I feel the less that knows about this, the better. I give Haas a careful look, grabbing my phone and stashing it in my pocket. Thinking back, this seemed to be in line with yeah, what Oz was asking for, the need or want to keep things hidden for everyone. Honestly, I didn't like it, but trusted that people had their reasons. How bad is it? Depends. Potentially could be someone snooping in our rooms. I'd have less than of an issue with it if I knew they were after what they were after, so I could just give them what they need, what they wanted. I can understand that, yeah. In any case, I've already woken Orlando, and he's headed to where we're going to have this talk. Figured I'd get him up first so you could have it. My god, sorry. Jeez, I'm not tired, I swear. So we could have a small sleep. So you could have a small sleep in. But you didn't bring me any coffee. One day I'll wean you off of I'll wean you off of coffee one day. Now come on, let's go. Huss led the way forward. It was easier to pull myself onto on Otto rather than consciously walk beside him. Hell, I was still rubbing my eyes as we descended the stairs. We descended again into the basement, heading toward the vault. The lights were already on, so we weren't the only ones down there. Orlando was already there waiting for us, sitting against one of the walls. He stood as we filed in, with Haas closing the door to the room behind us. So, now we're here. Which means it's time for this creepy list, right? Right, I've got it right there. This was just in your room, right? That's right, no indication of who left it there, but given it was sitting right in the middle of my bed, whoever left it there wanted me to find it. Should we raise this to the others? It's probably not good if someone's snooping around the rooms. Well, I agree with that, but we don't really have anyone to finger for it, right? Unless we start comparing handwriting. Wouldn't that be a little telling? Also, if they're just leaving a note, is that so just leaving a note, is that so bad? What if they're stealing stuff as well? I can't think of someone who fits that bill. Hey, that's not fair. You can't profile him like that. I'm with Dave on this one. Besides, there's other things clearing him off it anyway. Oh, like what? I don't think Tyson would know some of the words on the list anyway, so at the very least, he wouldn't have written it. Wow, are you calling him dumb? While I was intent on giving Haas the best disapproving stare I could manage, Orlando's moved the conversation back on track. What words are on this note anyway? Is that a letter? A shopping list? Just words. Here. Haas straightened up the sheet of paper that he had flipped it around so Orlando and I could read. Sure enough, it was a list of words, all written in capital letters. Liminality, arbiter, discovery, suspend, matrimony, peacekeeper, deluge. That is an odd list of words. Any idea what they mean? I feel like you're leading us along here. Maybe a little bit. Why else would we be meeting in here otherwise? Fair point. But yeah, I feel like these might be potential things to try in the vault. That or some obscure reference to what to look for in the library. Anyway, why not work through this list? Could even take in turns to keep things fun, or I could just type them all in and get it out of the way. I think we should just do it all. We should just leave it all for Haas. It'd probably be faster if you did Haas. That way we can all get to breakfast. Oh yeah, I'd love a cup of tea about now. Alright. Shouldn't take too long. One by one, Haas punched in the words, with each one accompanied by an angry beep. With how his face scrunched up after each attempt, it seems that none of them were working. Well, that's a shame. None of them worked. You didn't really expect them to just work, right? Who would leave you the solution like that? Oh, okay. Alright, it's been a while since I haven't used it, so that's cool. I put this redeem just because I kind of felt bad that my 2D VTuber model wasn't getting any uses anymore. That's why I put that redeem in, really. I wanted to keep using it after all. Yeah, can't blame me for hoping though. Still, if any of them did work, I don't think you'd be all too happy about it. And why's that? I looked to Orlando, who'd only just realized what he'd let slip. Oh, what I mean is, Orlando looked at me, worried, before looking across to Haas. Well, maybe it's just best if I just show you. Hold on. Orlando wandered over the keypad and typed in something, getting the same incorrect chime. Wait, no. Maybe I just typed it wrong. Once more he tried and got the same chime back. Hey, you don't need to make this stuff up for me. It's all good. No, it's not it. Tell him, Dave. Oh, I looked at Haas, who looked between the both of us, confused. So, what's the bad thing about this again? In case it's not a case of you put in the right password and someone dies, right? Close, but not quite. Orlando and I looked at one another, the silence broken only after a few moments with my own nervous laughter. Not exactly? You can't be serious. Sorry, but this is what happened yesterday. I was planning on camping out here and try something, but Dave thinks he saw me die trying, right? Something like that, yeah. Only reason I did that was because I thought I saw Dave die. So the worst part of all this is that I don't think you're lying, which either means you're both suddenly very good at bluffing, or you're both sharing some delusion about us being in danger. Honestly, though, it's cute that you think that you worried about one another, but nothing's going to go wrong. Ha ha ha. Even then, if you'd opened the vault, you'd have seen what's inside. Not only that, but it'd be open now, right? I guess that makes sense. So try not to worry about it. Maybe you get some coffee after all. Plus a good night's rest tonight. Speaking of, I'm getting really hungry myself. I'll let you guys sort yourself out and meet you upstairs. Thanks for hearing me out, though. Next time, I promise I won't make it so early. So, yeah, Haas is definitely not super suspicious just then. The moment Haas was gone, Orlando sighed out, scratching the back of his head. I'm sorry, Dave. Me and my big mouth. Well, that part could have gotten better, that's for sure. Hey, can we talk about yesterday? If only a little bit? Oh, right. What about it? So, I won't tell you what word I used, just to be safe. How I saw you die wasn't pretty. That's not exactly fair, is it? I guess not. But still, it's not exactly something I'd want to be sharing. Just, I have to do my best to do I have to do my best to stop happening, maybe. Is that why you had the knife? The knife? Oh, right. I wasn't really sure what I could do to be proactive about stopping what I saw. I did think, though, that if someone was somehow doing something to this to make us see things, that maybe they'd wait until we were all in bed to come back. But a knife, though, would you be able to follow through with, you know? Honestly, I don't know. Probably not. What's the alternative? No, though, do nothing and watch you die. I have a trump card on hand always, but I don't think that stop. Well, a death like that. Something to stop death. Something Grandpa gave me in his will. Figured that if anyone would make use of it, I would. But what is it? I'm sure you can figure out. That said, if we saw what we saw was the truth? What could it mean? Are we in danger? Is something trying to kill us? Why? What did we do? Orlando groaned, pulling at his beard. Come on, I can't take it down here anymore. I need tea, you need coffee. And being down here is just depressing. Orlando? Yes? I wandered over to him, noticing that he was working himself up to shaking violently in place. He lifted his arms as I reached out and I hugged him around his chest, with him returning the gesture in kind. We'll get through this. It's what friends do, right? They look out for another. And I don't want my best friend dying, that's for sure. I'm not going to let you die either. Promise. Orlando squeezed me back, tight enough that I squeaked from him crushing me a little too much. Oh, sorry, time for breakfast? Yeah, I need that coffee. The two of us headed back upstairs towards the dining room, with Orlando continuing to the kitchen while I settled in at the table with the others, pouring myself a cup of coffee. The first sip of coffee was always the best. I wasn't sure if it was the creaminess or the warmth that I enjoyed more. It was almost the same as having a mug of hot chocolate, but there was something more about coffee that just felt better. Not even the perkiness that came with it. Something that I fondly remembered, even if a little sad at times. I looked up from my mug to see Ty looking at me from across the table, a cup of coffee in his hand too. I'd seen Ty enough times in the morning before coffee to tell when he was too tired to properly function. Hell, I recognized the expression from looking in the mirror. Still, he shot me a quick smile before looking around the table. I took the chance to stock of who was in the room, taking back to what Oz had said. I was meant to trust everyone in this room, and I did, except Haas. Don't trust Haas. My eyes settled on Saul. For the most part, Saul just looked tired. Could he be the killer? No, come on. No. Nah, no way. All things considered, if it came down to a straight fight, he had the size and weight covered, with likely the brawn to follow. That's not even getting to the fact that he was good at wrestling. But he did also know some medical things. I just assumed it was first aid, but what if it was more than that? Still, did he have the heart to do it? I know bits and pieces about him, but probably not as well as some of the others. It was possible. Then I moved on to Dean. The main thing I knew about Dean was that he was a pretty good guy, loved his family, liked to help out where he could, and wore his short really? Wore his heart on his sleeve. But if Dean was the one behind everything, would that make sense? For starters, he had full access of any number of gardening tools, and he knew how to use an axe from what I assumed. Any of which would make a decent weapon, my god. Not to mention any sort of pesticides and other garden chemicals that he could poison someone with. That's even if he needed the poison outside a harmful plant to do the job, right? Thing is in his favor though was he was really unthreatening. His argument with Saul the other day just made me think that at least. By comparison though, Tyson. Ty was ready to throw down at moment's notice, especially if whatever was happening involved me. That I wasn't sure if that was reassuring or not thinking on it. Now was Ty capable of killing someone? Probably, but capable and willing were two different things. I honestly don't think Tyson would ever intentionally kill someone. But accidentally, I could see it happening. Get him angry enough, throw him into a rampage, and he probably wouldn't need a weapon at that point. Now, Roswell. My first impression was that he'd be more of a victim rather than a killer. His stature was enough to make me think of that at least. But it was possible? He was smart enough and to probably pull something off. Or somehow organize it to overcome the lack of his strength, maybe? After all, he didn't take it all that much strength to shoot someone if you had a gun, so there was that. What I didn't know was that Roswell was typically easily upset when it came to, well, anything about death. I don't think he'd be able to hold it together if he killed someone without giving himself away. Haas and Orlando wandered back in front of the kitchen, talking among themselves about something they carried in toast and a new pot of coffee. Orlando gave me a wave as he noticed me looking his way. He seemed happy, and my immediate thought was that someone so happy just couldn't be a murderer, could they? Wow. What logic. It ran in his family so far, or at least that's what I got after the revelation from yesterday. As someone that could breathe fire, the possibility of him committing acts of arson was there. He was in the same class as Roswell when it came to the prospect of dead things. That said, he probably knew how to use a knife if kitchen skills carried across to murder. Haas seemed to always know what was going on, or at least had a good read on people from what I could tell, but maybe that was the reason for alarm? Of all people in the room, Haas was the one I had the worst read on. All of the memories I had of him were pleasant, I guess. He was always outwardly friendly, and he was being on keeping people together in a group, inclusive stuff. But maybe it was all. Maybe that was a cover. Maybe he just wanted everyone around, so he always had an alibi. It was too hard. I didn't want to believe that anyone here was a murderer, and I pushed the thoughts further down into my gut. As far as Oz, though, was it possible that someone here was pretending to be him? My immediate thought went to Haas, with acting and all, and then to Roswell, because, well, smart, knew how to do the spooky thing, and he was the one that organized the trip. After that, though, Orlando, it'd be like role playing, so that's a thing. Saul, maybe. Talking through a radio might be easier for him than in person, but that just left with Dean and Tyson. Dean was more likely of the two, given he was prone to being level-headed and not being overly flirty. When not being overly flirty. But would he go through the method of setting up a radio, though? I was mid-growl before I became aware of the looks I was getting. I was halfway out of my seat before Roswell eased me back into it gently. Back down gently. Are you alright, Dave? You're not usually one to growl. Should we be concerned? Well, he's out of coffee for starters. Someone should pour him another cup before he gets cranky. Oh dear. Well, Dean, pass the coffee, please. Orlando took the coffee pot from Dean and refilled my mug just enough to make sure there was still room for milk. We should do a thing. I gulped, standing suddenly and almost knocking over my coffee. Swiping it from the table, taking the milk from Orlando and topping it up, I drank deep, setting it back down with a resolved sigh. Also, that music that it's playing, I kind of like it. It's like mysterious or like investigation-like. I like it. It was the fact that my friends were being targeted by someone and dying somehow. With no leads, with no clues to work from, what option we had were limited. As Dad used to say, safety came in numbers. So the more we worked together, the less chances someone would have to pick us up, right? It makes sleeping harder, but it was worth a shot. Yeah, let's do a thing. Someone's perky tonight. This morning. I'm not opposed to doing anything. Did you have something in mind? Are we not going to question the growling? I want to question the growling. I want to do something together again. Like the movie night, as a group. That sounds good to me. Any ideas? But why the growling about it? Saul is just too focused on the growling. I'm not doing anything else. Could it kill you to be a little more enthusiastic? Yes. Whatever, I don't have to answer to you. But the growling. Is everything alright, Dave? You growled. I heard it. I'm fine, really. The growling. I sighed out, looking to everyone at the table and running my hands through my fur. I had everyone's attention at least, although I don't think I liked it. We're here on this vacation, and despite all being together, we haven't done much as a group after being here after a week. Meals don't count, and even then, people come and go. This was meant to be. The realization hit that after this month was up, chances were I wouldn't see a few of these people for a long while. I sighed out, suddenly deflated. I could feel my ears drooping, feeling as though the first week was effectively wasted. Well, wasted beyond having saved one of their lives. But I shouldn't have had to do that in the first place. What about if we spend today carving the pumpkin? That seemed like a big enough activity, assuming it's as big as Dean says. Isn't it a little early for Halloween, though? That works. If the only thing is not doing more things than together, then it's a problem we can solve. I don't get how we're going to handle this, though. Doesn't take more than one person to make one of those pumpkin things, right? I guess I could help carry it inside and then bail. No! You gotta stay with the group. What did you fucking said, pup? Fine. Jeez, you're pushy today. How about at least for ease of setting up, we split into two groups? No point getting all of us out to the greenhouse. More people will just get in the way in there. The rest of us can make sure we have knives and such for when we get to cutting, right? That works, yeah. And I propose that Saul, Tyson, and Dean go do the heavy lifting while Orlando, Roswell, and I get the knives and get a clear space. Does that work with everyone? Sure, I can do lifting stuff. And I don't mind trying to clear a space. Alright, well, let's start after breakfast, alright? After I'd settled back down and had some breakfast, we cleaned up and broke into teams that Haas had decided upon. I didn't see anything wrong with his split, as in groups of threes that seemed safe. If one of my friends was behind it all, there was an extra person in the group to get in the way on the off chance they tried anything fishy. I figured I'd help bring the pumpkin inside first. After all, wouldn't hurt to have an extra set of hands just in case anyway. This better, Dave. Could have just said something sooner if not doing stuff as a group buttered you so much. Even Tyson is being social again. Maybe he needed this too. Maybe don't talk about me when I'm here. Fuck you guys. Oh boy. Hey, we were only playing. Might need to be more mindful of his feelings. Yeah, probably not a bad idea. I'll go talk to him later. Maybe see if I can bury the hatchet. Bury what? You know, make friends. Right. Yeah, I understand. I'll try the same, maybe. When we are all together, all in the greenhouse, I looked around. The air was pleasant, fresh, and had a slight dampness to it that felt comforting on my fur. Hey, Dave. No, Dave, over here. Coming. Take these, and go cut the vine holding this thing down, pup. Oh, all right. Tyson handed me some garden snippers before finding a spot to pull the pumpkin towards him. Sneak in there and cut it free, yeah? Oh, okay, I can do that. Hold up. Just want to throw something out there. What's up, Dean? So, the four of us. I think Saul and I should be carrying this thing inside. What, you think I'm not strong enough or something? Don't think as a challenge. Take this as a challenge, but yeah, no offense. But this thing is gonna be a pain to carry, and I think Saul's the strongest of us, right? It's not even a competition. Saul's probably the strongest. Probably. Don't want anyone injuring themselves. Wait, so should I still, For added effect, I flexed the snippers in my hand, wondering if my job was going to change now that Tyson was free. Please, don't think we're going to get this thing free otherwise. Ty backed off, arms folded and grumbling, coming to stand next to me as Dean sized up the pumpkin, tipping it back slightly and taking the weight of it. So help me support so Dave can get in there. No sooner than Saul had gotten into position, I scrambled underneath the pumpkin and started looking for something to cut. Find the vine, Dave? Yeah, it looks pretty thick enough. The silence that followed made it clear that what I said was being misconstrued, with the witnesses that it seems Dean didn't want to comment. I could only imagine the face he was pulling, though. That's what he said. Shut up, horny bear. Stop. Sure enough, the vine was tearing the pumpkin to the ground, was thick and waxy, slipping free of the snipper twice before I managed to get enough of a hold on to cut it cleanly. Okay, it's free. Alright, ready, Dean? Ready, on tree. 1, 2, 3. The pair of them lifted the pumpkin up and started shuffling away. They seemed to be managing fine, opting to take it slow. Once they were outside, came to help it, and I don't get to do anything. Well, hey, you made the effort though, right? I guess. So, got a question for you. What sort of question? I've been trying something. Something good? Think so? Trying to be more nice, Try and make friends. Oh, that's great, Ty. But, am I doing a good job? It's hard and not sure if it's worth the effort. But you're really trying? Of course I'm trying. I'm trying for you, you dork. For me? Yeah, why not? You like these people. It's easier for you if I get along, right? Well, yeah, sure, but I can't say I was expecting you to actively, make an effort. Well, thanks for the vote of confidence. They don't give me a shot though. That's it, fuck 'em. Oh, so I was thinking of maybe trying with Haas first. I tilted my head, confused. Why Haas? He's the new guy. Don't know him. He don't know me. Hopefully he can give me a fair shot. Yeah, that seems like a good call. I have my moments. Any advice though? Let's see. Maybe be ready to talk about anime for a while? Oh, like those dorky cartoons you watched? I gave Ty a deadpan stare, catching him smirking. Alright, fine. I'll lay off his hobby. And if he tries to make you watch some, I'll give it a shot. Sure, may as well. Didn't get to watch TV all that much, so... Something about this made me happy, or maybe it was just relief. I made to move forward and slipped in the soil, falling to my hands and knees. You doing alright there? Or did you just forget how to walk? No, I think I slipped on something. I dug around in the soil, trying to find what I'd slipped on, pulling a free round metal object with an engraving on it. Oh, Ty, look! I held up the metal to him, offering it out. He took it in his hands, rolling it over once before handing it back. Bleh. Seems like it, yeah. Taking the metal back, I looked again at the engraving, a round shape with a tube protrusion coming at the top. Is that Taurus? I think it's Taurus, right? I have made a note for the metals, I think. I did, but I misspelled. Yeah, I think it is Taurus. Okay. I do have like my notepad with the notes that I took on this game. So, what one is it? Oh, it looked like it has horns, so... Wait, which one have horns? Aries? Taurus? This one's probably Taurus, given they point up, though. Doesn't bother me any. Not like we're keeping a checklist. Yeah, you're right. I pocketed the metal and got up to dust off my knees. Time to head back inside? Yep. Alright, let's go. With the pumpkin on its way inside, it was time to follow, the metal safely tucked away for now. The pumpkin had been put down off to the side, with Haas, Orlando, and Roswell looking it over in awe. Saul and Dean had decided to take a seat, and Tyson was lingering near the doorway, looking uncertain. As I was about to say something... Tyson. What? Come sit. Go on, Ty. They're not going to bite. Not unless you ask me to. Keep it in your pants, goddamn. Dean, keep it in your pants. You wish. Nah. Even then, Ty wandered over and pulled out a chair, sitting with Sal and Dean. The crocodile and bear were still in mid-conversation, but in the brief time that I watched, they did acknowledge that Tyson was now part of their group, at least for now. Oh no. Pumpkin. Dean said it was big though. I don't get it what you're so... I don't think anything you could have told me would have made me believe it was this big. Dave, what do you think? I looked at the pumpkin, fully aware of how big it was, but still reeling at its presence all the same. I hope it doesn't go bad. No kidding. Still, we've got it here now. May as well do something with it. Guess I better get those knives. Dave, mind giving me a hand? Oh, sure. Orlando started to head towards the kitchen, motioning my bad, over his shoulder for me to follow. He entered the kitchen first, holding the door open for me so I could step inside. But sooner than I was clear of the door, he snapped it shut, looking around as if to check we were alone. Orlando? Yeah? What are you doing? Just making sure we're alone. I wanted to talk about something. Oh. What about? About, this morning at the vault. I haven't stopped thinking about it. I wonder if telling Haas that we got it open was the right idea or not. Well, it wasn't a good idea. I scratched my head, now wondering the same thing. He didn't seem decided on if we were just delusional or messing with him, which was better than him outright not believing us, right? I keep thinking, what if I can't stop what I saw from happening? What if what happens is my fault? Orlando started to shake, sniffling quietly, moving to wipe his eyes on the back of his arm. Hey, Orlando, it's okay. It is? Well, if what I saw was true, then you'd be dead now, right? So whatever we can see, we can undo or stop from happening, right? Yeah. But that must mean there's multiple words and maybe they don't always work for everyone. When I lucked out into the word that showed me your death, I was just guessing. I must have gone through so many words just trying to find something that worked. How did you get the one for me to work? I went to answer, but before finding I didn't really had one ready. How did I know what to put in? Was it just a guess or just a sudden flash of inspiration? Orlando watched me as I mouthed random syllables, trying to find an adequate place to start my explanation. I don't know. Really? You sure? Honest, fear started to take root, making me shudder. Was I being puppeteered into doing things I wasn't aware of? Guided into making choices that I didn't fully comprehend? I started to shuffle around, uncomfortable in my own skin. Orlando, I don't know. Something. Maybe I was just lucky. I don't feel like it. That's it, though. I believe you, Dave. Whatever you tell me, I'll believe, no matter what. Anything? Anything. I choose to believe you. Believe in you and everything that we can accomplish together. And I feel okay with that. I get the feeling that leaving would be a bad idea. We just have to get through the month, right? Now you're being silly, Dave. You know that the Earth is round, right? It's scientifically proven and all. You know that, right? I eyed Orlando carefully, now uncertain if he was alluding to something that someone else had told me recently. I went to ask before he continued my thought for me. It's just the feeling I get that if we left early and ran away from this, we'd be doing more harm than good. But that's silly, right? It's not like we'd all just disappear, right? And no one gave this to you as a warning? This is just a thought you had? Mm-hmm. If someone had told me that was actually the case, I'd probably be a mess. At least this way I can put it down to me just worrying too much. But the risk is worth taking, Dave. Is it worth risking someone else's life to save your own? If I had to choose, then I'd want to try and make sure everyone survived, but we stood in tense silence for a few moments before Orlando spoke again. We should get the knives. The others probably wonder what held us up. Oh, right. By this stage, I imagine Haas is probably telling Russell that we are just kissing like he assumed we were doing yesterday. I really should ask him not to spread that around, regardless if it's true or not. Maybe a good idea, otherwise Dean might get jealous, and that's not exactly something I want to be dealing with right now. Right, but for now, knives. Orlando wandered over the knife block and started picking up knives, checking their sharpness before setting them aside for use or putting them back in the block. When he had a few, I helped him carry them back to the dining room. We each took a knife and started staring at the pumpkin before us. So, how do we start this off? Looking at one another, lost, I looked over to the other three. Seemed like they were happy sitting back and watching, as if they were older brothers watching their younger siblings play. It was an odd feeling, but I liked how everyone was getting along. Most importantly, everyone was accounted for. I sighed out, pulling a chair so I could get enough height to get at the top. Okay, first step should be cut up the top, right? Seems like a good plan. Wait, so with a pumpkin this large, are we just... Sorry? Making a jack-o'-lantern, or are we actually cutting it up? Oh, right, let me lay out the sheets we got. At least that way it'll make cleaning up easier. Probably a good idea. Dave, why are you up there? I figured we cut up the top, scoop out the insides, and, do the thing. Do the thing, huh? Sounds like we're going to need some buckets or something to hold all the goop. I'll go get something. I'll be back. Fairly certain I saw something from the greenhouse, Haas. Sweet. Then give me a hand, Dean. I looked over to where Dean was getting up from the table, clapping Tyson on the shoulder as he passed. Not that he seemed too pleased about getting touched like that. All he gave Dean was a frown, but went back to watching us with a calm smirk. Saul got up and wandered over, mentioning something to Orlando to cause the dragon to blush. Oh no, I don't need that. Thank you, though, Saul. Dave, careful you don't fall off the chair. I won't. Almost immediately following my declaration, I wobbled, causing Saul to hold me securely on the chair by my hips. Not anymore, you won't. Careful, Dave. I will. Once I was certain I was steady again, I plunged the knife in at an angle, point away from me. After all, didn't want to go stabbing myself. Despite how careful I thought I was being, my triumph was short-lived upon seeing Orlando and Saul's faces. Dave, I said be careful. You could have hurt yourself if you use a knife like that. I was being careful. What if it skipped off the surface? Or if you sliced again wait, if you slipped again? Okay, fine. I hung my head, Saul helping me down off the chair. I looked up at the knife sticking out the top of the pumpkin as Orlando took my spot, shaking his head as he began to carve the top of the gourd. Get a little excited, pup? Saul patted me on the hand and I folded my arms, sulking. How else I was supposed to shove the knife in there? The outside was tough. Maybe get me to do it. Don't want you getting stabbed. Obviously, I'm with Tyson on this one. I don't want you getting stabbed either, Dave. Tyson, though? Sure, he can stab himself. I'm happy with that potential risk. Go fuck yourself. Well, fuck you too, Unker. This is my friend, not you. If someone is going to get stabbed, I'd rather it be anyone else other than him. Well, yeah, obviously. I looked between the two, wondering if there was going to be a repeat from the other day. Guys. Thankfully, Dean and Huss returned from the greenhouse with a few buckets, setting them nearby. Dean then shuffled in between Tyson and Roswell, creating a barrier between the two. Whether he did it intentionally, I have no clue. Buckets gotten. And we're not to throw anything out. Apparently we can use the insides for compost. Waste not and want not. And there's gonna be a lot of it based on the size of this thing. Orlando climbed down, placing the top of the pumpkin on the sheets now laid out surrounding it. Okay, well, we're ready to start scooping the stuff out. I think I'm gonna go get a spoon or something to make this easier. Why do we need a spoon? Are you planning on using your hands? That's going to get all in your fur if you do that. I was considering it. He was gone for all of a few moments before returning with a large metal spoon, handing it over to me. Here, Dave. You can have this for first shift. Shift? That's a lot of pumpkin. I don't think you're going to get all of that out yourself anytime soon. I don't know. I can make a fair effort at it. Watch. I climbed back up on the chair and poised the spoon, ready to start scooping. Huss, bucket me. I'm not sure I should be so if I should be so gung-ho about enabling this, but sure. If you tire yourself out, just make sure you tag someone else in. Well, how about I get started on lunch? A bit early, isn't it? Maybe, but if I can go get some ideas on what to make us at least. Oh, Dean's taking a turn at cooking? Maybe we should all take it in turns. I might need help with that. What sort of help? You can't be that bad, can you? Orlando and I are a witness. Put me down for breakfast maybe. Unless we're fine with just fried chicken. I'm down for chicken. I started things up by scooping, and then scooping some more. By the time I filled the first bucket, I swapped out with Orlando to give my arm a rest. We continued like this, taking turns until it was time for lunch, with Dean making everyone sandwiches. Around this time, I realized everything on my end tasted and smelled like pumpkin, with how much it was on me. Looking to the others, most of them had a few bits of goop here and there, but nowhere near the amount that I'd been covered with. Even with my hoodie being orange, I could tell where the pumpkin had started to seep into the fabric. After lunch, Dean went out to the greenhouse to see if there was a chainsaw we could use to speed things along, while Orlando settled in for an electric carving knife to start breaking it down into more manageable pieces. Dear God, Teen. Teen just wanted to go like all force. All force, no brain. Chainsaw. Wow. So, Orlando. What is it? You turned the electric carving knife off, setting it aside to look at me proper. How often are we going to be eating pumpkin moving forward? Every meal? Not every meal. But it'd be good to just try. I'll do what I can to make some more sweet things. Otherwise, roast pumpkin isn't hard to do. Oh, can we have pumpkin bread? Pumpkin bread? Really? I guess I couldn't make pumpkin bread. It's been forever since I had that last. But is it still really bread? Not at that point, but it's more like a cake, but I suppose it depends on the recipe too. Make a loaf for me and Davia. Or you could just make it yourself. Can't blame me for trying. Wait, why for us, Ty? Can't we share? Why share when there's more of that pumpkin? Last time we had pumpkin bread, you ate most of the loaf anyway. Oh, right. I laughed nervous, scratching my head, but finding that the amount of pumpkin on my hands resulted in me just smearing it into my fur. Wait, Dave. I looked to where Orlando was pointing, noticing the metal that was half sticking out of my pocket. It must have been shifted with all the movements I'd been doing. Is that the medal I found? Oh, Oh no, this is the one I found. This one is one I found, see? I pulled it out proper and showed it to Orlando. Taurus, right? Looks like it to me. I looked to Saul, who has his hands retreating from atop his head, but I didn't catch what he was doing with them. What were you doing? Like the moo cow. Well, hey, this puts further in the lead now, right? Weak down and wet. 2 medals. Hey, it's a start. And we're winning. Yeah, I heard you the first time. Tyson shrugged, poking me gently in the chest. You need a bath. I do not. I looked down to where Ty held contact with me, seeing just how much pumpkin had ended up on me. Grimacing, I shot Tyson a quick look before chuckling. Okay, maybe I do. You're gonna need help getting that spot on your back. You always miss it. Just remember to use the brush this time, yeah? Right, I'm fairly certain I packed it. If you didn't, I'll just go get mine from my room. I'm gonna make coffee. There wasn't much for me to thank Tyson for his offer, but with him slipping into the kitchen pretty soon after his declaration. I looked down at my hoodie, groaning. I'm going to need to wash this too, huh? Honestly, I'm surprised you got that messy. You really weren't being mindful of what you were doing. No, but he was enthusiastic at least. I'm right here, guys. Jeez. Well, if you're already messy, mind if I borrow you for a little longer? What for? Just to finish this pumpkin prep work. Wouldn't mind an extra set of hands, and given you're already a mess, you can't get that much messier by helping a little longer, right? Grumbling, I folded my arms over my chest, the feeling of the damp fabric pressing against my fur. Oh, come on, I won't take long, promise. Okay, I'm coming. In that case, I'm gonna go to the shower. Me too. Meet back up in a little bit. Orlando and I split from Roswell. heading towards the kitchen. Seemed like Dean and Saul were just going to hang out for a little longer while going to get clean too. When we got in, I ran into Ty holding a cup of coffee. Go shower already. I'm helping Orlando first. I gestured wildly to Orlando, pouting despite the growing smirk on Ty's face. Sure, pup. Just make sure you get clean after. Not really in the mood to wash you again. Remember, brush in my room if you need it. I shuffled out of Tyson's way as he wandered past, patting me lightly on the head as he did so. Looking to Orlando, he seemed rattled about something, but didn't know where to start asking. Thinking back on it, there weren't many times where Ty had behaved like that in front of the others. Usually it was all behind closed doors. So, you probably have questions. Yes, I have questions. He was like completely different person right now. What happened there? Why? Ty's just This makes me wonder if I should update my shipping chart. Oh, no, it's not like that at all. Ty's just Ty? Do you like him? Sorry, maybe a better question. Do you like him in the same way as you do Dean? I feel my cheeks go red, but Orlando approached and clapped me on my on the shoulders. Sorry, I shouldn't pry, but I'll teach you all I know anyway. We'll make sure you land on that bear and, well, all the good stuff that comes after. Oh, yeah, okay. Great, but first, helping me bag up this pumpkin. So we started portioning up the pumpkin and bagging it up for storing in the freezer. Or more accurately, Orlando would portion and I would bag. So I've been thinking about something. About what? So, Orlando sighed out, wiping his hands on a tea towel before looking at me again. I really like Saul. Right? So I'm going to ask him out. Whoa, really? Absolutely. After all, best leads by example, so you can ask Dean out. But he's been asking me out. And how well has that gone? Look, maybe it's a sign, so you should be the one asking him. But I guess I see the appeal in someone asking you out. The important thing is not letting the opportunity slip you by, feelings you may have, or stopping a friend in dying. We had a few moments of silence between us as I processed what Orlando had said. My mind reeled, flashing between the friends outside in the kitchen, how they were in danger, how I loved them, and if I loved any of them more than just that. Orlando, we'll find that happily ever after, Dave. I promise. Whatever it takes, I'll get us out there. I'll get us there. Okay, I'm starting to get a bit tired from all this, so I'm going to leave it here for today. My voice is getting tired, so yeah. Hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time. Take care.